everyone, I wanted to make this video to talk about how many magazines it seems like are going out of print publication. I actually went to the newsstand just the other day and I wanted to get a copy of Nylon magazine. And apparently Nylon magazine went out of print in literally 2017. I'm making this video in April 2022 and yeah, the lady let me know that Nylon magazine has not been in print for a while, and then she also told me that a whole bunch of magazines are going out of print. And it's not that the whole magazines are going out of business, but that they're going to digital only, a lot of them. It's really interesting. And I actually have a list here because I thought it was so interesting of different magazines that are going out of print. So I'm thinking, gosh, would it be a good idea to buy the last copy of this magazine? Would that be like worth something one day? And so this is my list. I have Martha Stewart Living. You know, Martha Stewart is so inspiring, and you know, Martha Stewart Living, you look at her like tablescapes and different interior decorating and all, you know, party decorations. Okay, well, Martha Stewart Living, the last issue is actually May 2022. So we're in April 2022 right now as I'm making this video. So basically next month is the last in-print issue of Martha Stewart Living. In Style magazine actually went out of print this month. So April 2022 is the last issue of In Style magazine that you can get in print. They're moving to digital only. People in Espanol and Entertainment Weekly, they're actually all owned by the same company, those three magazines, and so they're actually all going out of print April 2022. So digital only, you can only see them online, they're out of print. That's crazy. And another one is Money magazine. Money magazine actually went out of print in the June/July issue of 2019 was their final printed issue. And also, this one surprised me. Oh, the Oprah magazine, actually they declared in December 2020 that December 2020 would be their final printed monthly magazine. They said that they might, I think they said like they might do some more printings, but they will no longer do like the monthly printings. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? Have they printed any magazines since then? You know, obviously non-monthly because they're not doing that anymore. And so this is interesting. I actually, when I went to the newsstand, like I told you all, I was looking for Nylon magazine. I ended up buying the new issue of Vogue magazine and the new issue of Vanity Fair magazine. And I thought this was just really interesting. I have some facts about these magazines that are still in print, which is cool. Vanity Fair magazine, this is according to Wikipedia, the first version of Vanity Fair began in 1913. And the magazine actually lasted from 1913 to 1936. Then they actually went out of print, stopped as a magazine, and the company came back in 1983. It's very interesting, right? Like, wow. So they are still in print. I mean, I just had their issue and I haven't read anything about Vanity Fair going out of print. So I think we can rely on that one. Vogue magazine, who's definitely still in print, and I'm talking about, I guess, American Vogue, but American Vogue is like the original Vogue, so I think it might just be called just Vogue. The first issue of Vogue was December 17th, 1892. So Vogue goes back to the 1800s, which I actually had heard before. And it's interesting, this is from Wikipedia. It says that the cost of the Vogue magazine, the very first issue, was 10 cents. And that's equivalent to $3.02 according to Wikipedia today. So it's interesting. It's actually, I think it's more expensive now. It's $7 or $8. I believe that's what I paid. And it's interesting as the first international Vogue magazine was British Vogue, which came out in 1916. So only 3 years after the American Vogue. Then there was a second international Vogue magazine, which was Paris Vogue, which, fun fact, actually changed its name to Vogue France in 2021. Okay, and then the third international Vogue was Vogue New Zealand, which actually it looks like does not exist anymore. And the last copy of Vogue New Zealand was 1968. Now this is really interesting. There's a bunch of Vogues from all around the world, and I actually think a fun thing about international Vogues is it can be a really cool way to learn another language. I've been learning French, and reading French Vogue is kind of a cool way to learn French. And so this is all the different Vogues, okay? You got Vogue Brazil, Vogue Korea, Vogue Taiwan, Vogue Mexico, Vogue Greece, Vogue Portugal, Vogue China, Vogue India, Vogue Turkey, Vogue Arabia, Vogue Poland, Vogue Czechoslovakia, Vogue Hong Kong, and Vogue Scandinavia. And then this is really cool because, I'm making this video about how many magazines are going out of subscription or going out of print and only going digital, not being able to get those monthly magazines in print. Well, actually, this is super interesting. Vogue Philippines is actually a new magazine that's going to be coming out that's going to be digital and printed. The monthly printed edition will happen, and that's actually Vogue Philippines is going to start in September 2022. So this is kind of interesting. It's like, do you guys think it makes more sense to buy like the last InStyle magazine, or do you think go to the future, buy the new Vogue Philippines? And I wonder if any of those are worth money, like the first editions are. I was kind of looking on like eBay and stuff and seeing which magazines were kind of like worth money now, the older editions and stuff. It's interesting. Some of them aren't, some of them are. Also, this is interesting. There's actually another new magazine called Hollywood Authentic, and it's actually a magazine that's about the film industry. The first person on the cover of the magazine happens to be Sean Penn, and it's very interesting because it's actually going to be a quarterly magazine, which is just interesting that like new magazine coming out with a print version is going for quarterly. We're so used to the monthly magazine, maybe with these magazines going digital, and then the one that is coming into print is going quarterly. Although, like I said, Vogue Philippines, that will be the monthly printed version. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention in this video is one magazine that I'm really interested in looking into is Animation Magazine. And it's just called Animation Magazine. And I'm really interested in animation. If you've seen some of my other videos on my channel, I make animations, and I'm really interested in what's going on in the animation industry. And this seems to be a really cool magazine, Animation Magazine. It started, it looks like in the 80s. And what's really cool is that you can go on their website and you can actually buy older editions of the magazine. So you actually can buy magazines, like Animation Magazine from the 80s. Like they have archived issues. And I thought that's really cool. It looks like it's only $12 for one of those really older editions. And I personally, that is something that I'm looking to get soon. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share all this. I think it's like really interesting. I was so shocked when I went to the newsstand and they told me all this, and so I just wanted to share. And thank you so much for listening. Feel free to leave a comment and comment on which magazines you still read, or if you do prefer digital magazines and you don't need to have an actual printed magazine. What do you all think? Thanks so much for watching.